Hey guys, today's video is going to be on order of operations. Now, in the past, you've always probably heard a teacher reference PEMDAS. Okay, so that just is an acronym for the order that we do things for our order of operations. So I'm just going to go through again what each of them means before we do some examples. So typically, you see it spelled out like this. Okay, so the P just stands for parentheses, E stands for exponents, multiplying and dividing, adding and subtracting. So when you do order of operations and you're looking at an equation, you're going to always look to see if there are any parentheses. If there are any parentheses, you have to do whatever is within those parentheses first and follow the order of operations within those parentheses. Now, after you've tackled all the parentheses, you're going to move to exponents. Exponents is when you may have like an x with a 2 up here, or maybe you have 4 and a 2 up here. That exponent we're going to learn about tomorrow, but really it just means you have 2 4s, so it's 4 times 4 would be 16, or here you have 2 x's, x times x. Today, however, we're not going to quite tackle that. We're not going to get into the exponent piece. We're going to do that again, like I said, tomorrow. So today we're going to be focusing on parentheses first. And then next, you're going to be doing multiplying and dividing. Now, when you do the multiplying and dividing piece, you really just go back to the beginning of the equation and you read it like you're reading a sentence in literacy. You're just going left to right. And whatever you bump into first is what you do first. And you don't necessarily do multiplying before dividing. Multiplying and dividing are like the same team, same thing. Whichever one of those two things you bump into first when you're reading from left to right, you'll do. And then finally, after that's all done, the only thing that should be left would be adding or subtracting. And adding and subtracting function very similarly to multiplying and dividing. It's like reading a sentence. You're going to go back to the beginning of the equation, go from left to right, and whatever you bump into first, you do it. So we're going to do a couple examples today. And like I said, we're not going to be dabbling with exponents quite yet, so we're going to kind of bypass that. So today we're just going to be looking at parentheses, multiplying and dividing, adding and subtracting. And then we're also going to define a couple of vocab words. We're going to be talking about what is an expression, what is a term, and what is a variable. So here I'm going to write down an expression. We have 8 times... We have 15 fifths minus 5 plus 9. All right, now this entire thing is an expression. And here, this one does not have a variable in it. A variable, remember, is when we may use maybe n, m, or any other letter for that matter to kind of take the place of a number. In this particular expression, we don't have any variables. And then a term is each individual part of the expression. So like 8 is a term. 15 fifths is a term. 5 is a term. And then if we would have an m, an n, or an x, some type of variable in our expression, that would also be considered a term. So let's go ahead and follow PEMDAS where we do our parentheses first. So when I look at this expression, I do see some parentheses. I have 5 plus 9. And I always suggest to my students that you rewrite the expression each time you solve a piece of it. So here, I didn't touch the 8. I didn't touch the 15 fifths. Okay, but now I'm going to subtract whatever's in that parentheses, and 5 plus 9 is 14. Okay, so I've rewritten it. I don't have any parentheses anymore, so now I just need to worry about multiplying and dividing. Remember, with multiplying and dividing, you come back all the way to the beginning and read from left to right, and whatever you hit first is what you do. So here, I see some multiplying. I have 8 times 15 fifths. Now, 15 fifths is really a division problem. I have 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay, so I have 8 times 3, and that is 24. So I'm going to rewrite my expression. I have 24 minus 14. Okay, I do not have any more multiplying and dividing left to do. So I can just go ahead and add and subtract, and I only have the one subtraction piece left, so my answer is 10. All right, so let's try another one. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to have 10 plus 2 minus 2 times 6 minus 1. Okay, so again, first I'm always looking for my parentheses. So in my parentheses here, I have 10 plus 2 minus 2. Now within these parentheses, I need to look and see, is there any multiplying or dividing? And there's not. So I just kind of go from left to right within that parentheses. So I have 10 plus 2 is 12, minus 2 is 10. So I'm going to rewrite my expression now. I have 10 times 6 minus 1. All right, now no more parentheses, so I need to worry about multiplying and dividing. So if I read from left to right, I'm going to first hit 10 times 6. All right, now 10 times 6 is 60. I'm going to rewrite that. And I still have the minus 1 left. So 60 minus 1 gets me 59. All right, last one. We're going to do tons and tons of practicing on this. So if you're not quite with me, we have weeks ahead of us of dealing with expressions. Here we're going to do, I better write small, this is the big one, 2 plus 6 times 2 plus 2 minus 4, parentheses, times 2. All right, so again, your first job is to always do whatever is within the parentheses. So if I look at these parentheses, I need to first look and see if there's any multiplying and dividing within it. Okay, there is. I have a 6 times 2 right here. Okay, so 6 times 2 is 12. So I'm going to rewrite it. I have 2 plus 12 plus 2 minus 4. Okay, so I'm going to do the parentheses piece again, times 2. All right, so now in my parentheses, I still have parentheses I need to worry about. It's just I did that multiplying part inside of it earlier. Now I'm just left with adding and subtracting, so I can just move from left to right. 2 plus 12 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 16. 16 minus 4 is 12. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite what I got in those parentheses, and that's 12. Then I have times 2. Now, here I have no variables in this entire expression, not a single variable, and each of these numbers, remember, is that word we want to reference as a term. So here, like 12 is a term in this expression. 2 is a term in this expression. There's no variables in there. So we have 12 times 2 gets me to my final answer of 24. Okay, so again, today when you're doing your practicing, it's just parentheses. We're not having to worry about the exponents today. Multiplying and dividing, left to right, whatever you hit first, and then finally adding and subtracting, left to right, whatever you hit first. All right, good luck today, guys. See ya.